The present lesson is confined to an introduction about CVP analysis as well as break-even analysis and its applications. Let us start with the CVP analysis. The CVP analysis that explains the interrelationship between cost, volume and profit. Here, in fact, the cost of production that determines the selling price. The selling price in turn determines the profit level as well as the sales volume. The sales volume in turn determines an impact on production volume, and the production volume again that it influences the cost. It is an intertwined relationship. While coming to the CVP analysis, as per CIMA London, it explains the future profits and impact of fixed cost and variable selling and quantity mix. So, any changes in fixed cost, variable cost, selling prices and quantity mix, how it affects the future costs are all explained in the what we call the CVP analysis. An important area to be discussed under CVP analysis is break-even analysis. Then, what is break-even? Break-even is the initial target of every businessman. Every businessman wants to reach the break-even as early as possible. Why? Because it is a no profit, no loss point. No profit, no loss point. So once any business attains the break-even, the business is in a safety position that it has crossed the business no loss as well as may have a dissatisfaction since it has no profitability. So, everyone's target in business is break-even, but no one stops and gets satisfied whenever business reaches break-even. So, the businessman tries to improve the profit or the further business to even if it has reached the break-even. Now, to understand the break-even, the marginal cost classification is to be understood well. Under marginal costing, cost can be classified into variable, fixed and semi-fixed. The cost which is variated having direct proportionate relationship with the sales is or the production is variable cost. The cost which doesn't show any change in relation to the production, it is fixed cost. A cost which is having the both natures semi-variable or semi-fixed. Then, to proceed further, the income distribution under marginal costing is also be understood very well. Then only we can, having understand on this, what we call the income distribution, one can only easily grasp the break-even and its application. Normally, profit is the equation between income minus expenditure is the profit. But under marginal costing, expenditure is divided into fixed and variable. So, under such a classification of fixed and variable, how to derive the income of the business or the margin of the business is now let us study. Income of the business minus variable cost is contribution. Contribution minus fixed cost is margin or profit or loss. So here, if the contribution is low and its relation to fixed cost, that determines the profit or loss. If the fixed cost is more than contribution, you will get loss, otherwise it is profit. Units production units, fixed cost, variable cost, and then total revenue. All these 4 items shall be taken at various levels of production, and these relations are to be studied by using a graphical method. Assume that x-axis, y-axis, on x-axis production in units, on y-axis total cost and total revenue in rupees are to be taken. Then, if a fixed cost is taken and plotting the fixed cost at various levels of production, normally it appears like this. Okay? So, fixed cost line always parallel to the x-axis. The reason is, at any level of production, the fixed cost is one and the same. Then take the total cost line. At the 0 units of production, fixed cost will be there, but there from the variable cost starts, so that the total cost line, if you consider at various level, it appears like this. Then take the total revenue. If the total revenue at any level of production is considered, this is TR line. The intersection point is known as break even. If you can draw a line parallel to the x-axis and y, one represents on x-axis number of units, break even, and break even in rupees. The break even units is known as break even volume and break even sales. And this part is profit zone, P zone, and this is a loss making zone. This is known as P zone, profit zone, loss zone. The reason is, beyond the break even, the sales will generate something additional income. That additional income, excluding the total cost, then it gives the result is profit. And then below the break even is the loss making zone. In between the break even point exists. To study the algebraical presentation of the break even and its estimation should be prefixed with what we call PV ratio. PV ratio is normally denoted with the PV. It is the ratio between profit and volume ratio. In fact, it determines the rate at which the profit is earned. It has a direct proportionate relation with volume, profit and what we call volume. Higher the profit, higher the PV ratio and vice versa. Moreover, it is a function of sales and variable cost. Why? Because to derive the PV ratio, there is an assumption fixed cost is constant, unchanged. The PV ratio equation is normally sales minus variable cost as a proportion to sales into 100. Since sales variable cost difference under marginal costing is denoted as contribution, so that the PV ratio equation consists of primary part, what called nominator is contribution to sales into 100. Another approach under contribution and marginal costing is the contribution is nothing but fixed cost plus profit by sales into 100. So these three equations are applied in estimation of the PV ratio. Having understood these having understood this PV ratio, let us study what are the applications of break-even. By using the algebraical method, PV ratio, that break-even volume, break-even sales can be estimated. Besides that, profit at a given sales or sales volume, sales at a given profit or desired profit, margin. This analysis helps to estimate the break-even volume. So how many, what it explains? It explains how many number of units a firm has to attain to reach break-even or no loss point. If a firm's break-even is set as 50,000 units, it explains that if the firm attains 50,000 units, it will reach break-even. So, to derive that break-even volume, total fixed cost by contribution per unit. The contribution per unit is sales minus variable cost per unit. Likewise, break-even sales can also be estimated. Break-even sales, that indicates how much value of sales a firm has to attain to reach break-even. If a firm's break-even is expressed in terms of 50,000 rupees, it indicates that the firm has reached break-even since it has attained the sales in rupees 50,000. To derive this equation, the nominator is total fixed cost by PV ratio. PV ratio, as we already understood, is an equation of the proportion between sales minus variable cost. Then the firm wants to know how much the profit can be attained at a targeted sales. Here the targeted sales are normally estimated or derived in advance. So the difference between targeted sales and break-even sales multiplied with the PV ratio is what we call targeted profit. To derive the targeted profit at a given sales, the difference between targeted sales and break-even sales multiplied with the PV ratio, that gives what we call the targeted profit. Sometimes the target profit is known to the businessman. He has some targeted profit he wants to attain. To attain such a targeted profit, how much sales he has to reach. Here the sales can also be expressed in terms of volume as well as in value. So both can be estimated by using a simple formula. So here the question is, profit at a given sales, that was over. So now the sales at a given profit. So how much sales you need can be estimated, or targeted sales can also be estimated by using the fixed cost, total fixed cost plus desired profit by what we call, if you apply, it is a proportion between fixed cost and profit sum or expected profit sum to sales volume or contribution per unit. Then you will get how much sales are required to reach to attain this profit can be assessed with units. Some other times, total targeted sales in terms of rupees can also be assessed by using total fixed cost plus desired profit by PV ratio, which gives in rupees. Apart from all these, one more important application in the way of break-even is margin of safety. It is also known as safety margin. This criteria or the element is applied wherever the sales are coming down, particularly when the particular business is what we call business shows some sort of a depression, decrease in sales. Whenever the sales are coming down, naturally there will be a fear at the businessmen how far they are safe in. To identify such a safety position, the margin of safety is estimated. So margin of safety is estimated at the different levels of the sales. At any level of sales volume or expected or present sales minus break-even sales by present sales. In another word, the difference between present sales and break-even as a proportion to the present sales, it gives, say, some value, can also be expressed in margin of safety. To derive the margin of safety, one should know what is the present sale or a particular point of sales. Okay. So in this manner, break-even point is applied where one can easily understood the break-even, which is very, very essential, because since it is what we call the basic target of every businessman. With this, the break-even analysis, a part of CVP analysis, is completed. Thank you. Bakkaripoyindi.